so we can transfer from this shit audio to that. So now I don't sound like a robot. Okay, well this is completely all off script now because February. All the great things that happen in February, like Valentine's Day, and that's about it. Okay, getting on with it. Today I'm wearing green pants, so now it looks like, if I can do it in post, like it looks like I'm just floating. Yeah. Okay, starting off, American Beauty. Now this movie is actually really crap. I really didn't like this at all. I can't believe this won a Best Picture. I think it was in like 2000. It won Best Picture. Like, how is that possible? Because this movie actually just sucked. Like, of course Kevin Spacey was good because like it's like naturalistic acting. Like, bro he was actually born to play that role. I read a funny Letterboxd comment that said the best part about this movie was when Kevin Spacey got shot. And I'm inclined to agree as well, because I think that is possibly the best bit. Huge controversial opinion here. The plastic bag scene was actually just utter crap. And I also felt like nothing happened. Like, the pacing was really crap. Nothing happened in the first hour and a half. And then in the last half an hour, everything happens that leads to it. So like, Kevin Spacey gets shot, Kevin Spacey tries to seduce a minor, and then also Kevin Spacey also tries to seduce a minor in the movie. Skinamarink. Skinamarink is a new indie horror movie that was written by this guy. I can't remember his name. It was first shown at Fantasia, this festival in Canada. Fresh new take on the horror, on the genre of horror, and it does it very well in the sense that I think the best way to describe it is food tastes better when you're hungry. Due to the lack of visual and audio cues given to the audience member, it allows them to be more enhanced and focused in what they're watching. And that is evidently true because that's how I felt. I felt like because there was not much going on, I was really looking to see what was going on, listening to hear what's going on, all of that. And it's very scary. Moving on, The Fabelmans. The Fabelmans, written and directed by Steven Spielberg, autobiographical movie about the life of Steven Spielberg, aka one of the greatest filmmakers of all time. Spielberg, if you don't know who he is and you're an idiot, he's done like every single movie that you've ever seen. So, Indiana Jones, E.T., Jurassic Park. So, Fabelmans is about the childhood of Steven Spielberg growing up, moving across cities of America, and how he adapts. I feel like I really relate to this movie because, of course, it's about a young, passionate Jewish filmmaker, and that is also like me a little bit. So I feel more connected to the character of Sammy Fabelman, and therefore I gave it 5. And I would say it's my pick for the best picture of the year. Although a lot of people wouldn't say that because, On the 8th of February, I watched Spotlight. Spotlight is really forgettable, but it's pretty much just Zodiac without murder, and it's about it's about this group of the Boston Globe called Spotlight, who are like this secret confidential team of journalists that are trying to work out all the priests that molested children across America. And in the end, they do figure it out, so spoiler alert. Moving on. I think if I watched it when it came out 50 years ago, I'd be more inclined to think, wow, that was really scary. However, I watched this over 2 days and also wasn't really directly involved. I didn't really feel engaged. I spent a lot of my time looking at Sigourney Weaver because it's pretty scary. The visual effects are really good. Also, oh yeah, here's the point. Why the hell would you bring a cat into space? Who the idea was that? I can't lie, I felt more invested in Jones than the rest of the characters. I can only remember the name Jones and Ripley because that's literally... Moving on to even further back in time, Casablanca. I know you're gonna say to me, how the hell have you not seen Casablanca if you're like a film fan? Shut up, I don't care. It's kind of just like a piece of propaganda that just shows how good America is and like how America just saves everything, which isn't directly true, but it's what Casablanca paints America to be through the use of Rick, who's actually an absolute sigma. Rick's really cool. I think people should make edits on him instead of like Ryan Gosling all the time.
He's looking at you, kid.
Let me in your world, you know. The spice, boy, you looking lovely, you know, boy, that's why I wanna be your lady, la, 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 la.
I gave it 4.5 because I really like As Time Goes By, and that's not just because Damien Chazelle likes As Time Goes By. As Time Goes By is a really good song, and speaking of singing, and the rain as well, I watched Singing in the Rain. Singing in the Rain is now one of my top 4 favorite movies of all time. I say top 4 because that's what it says on Letterboxd. It doesn't give you 5, it only gives you 4. And I like the choreography and the dancing and the singing and all the songs. All the songs are really catchy. It's kind of like what Babylon tried to do. I know Babylon's done it.
I'm singing in the rain, just singing in the rain.
Moving on to another famous filmmaker who goes by the name of Chris Nolan, Memento. Memento is really trippy. Memento is really trippy. Memento is really trippy. I think if I was to describe Memento, it would be like a fever dream if it was captured on like camera and converted into a movie. Like, it's just confusing, it's told backwards. It's a story about this guy who can't form any more memories. He uses Polaroids and tattoos as a form of memory instead. And moving on, I also watched 16 Candles. And finally, I watched The Umbrellas of Cherbourg. The Umbrellas of Cherbourg, I've been trying ages and ages and ages to watch this. I think I spent half the month trying to figure out how to watch it and only watching one scene, which is the I Will Wait. That scene I've seen so many times now. So like I actually understand the French translation to a certain degree, even though I only took French GCSE. I thought I'd be really tired of singing for an hour and a half, but honestly, after about 15 minutes, you don't even recognize the singing until like the songs that like really deep songs. You're like, wow, this is so beautifully sung. And like, Jacques Demy, you're an absolute legend. That's about it. Peace.